Hey y'all, it's Hoagie. Welcome back to my channel. It is the first video of Self-Love September this week, and I know I'm starting off with kind of a serious topic, but I figured this month is gonna be more of a, I don't know, story time, because I'm not super educated in the nuances of how to take care of yourself. I can barely take care of myself, but I thought, I have some stories and some experiences that are, probably really relatable and that you guys might find interesting to hear about. And at the end of the video, I am going to include some, tips and what I do now to, not self-harm. But the first part of this video is going to be just me telling my story about self-harm. I'll put a timestamp right here if you want to jump to past that, like when this is over, when I'm done talking about my story, and I just go straight to what I do now, so that you don't have to listen to the story if you think it might be triggering to you. I don't want to have to put you guys through that. But anyway, trigger warning for discussion of self-harm, for showing of self-harm scars, and just a lot of discussion about self-harm. This is a self-harm video. This is my history with self-injury. So let's get started. In middle school was about where I started presenting with Bipolar Mania. Mixed episodes. They were mixed episodes, which was mostly just uncontrollable rage. And the issue was I didn't know how to stop it. I didn't know how to stop it. It was terrifying. I would be fine, and then something would, tick me off, and I would be screaming, and I'd be running around, and I'd be hitting things, and it was so bad. My parents were freaked out. They blamed me. They thought that I was having anger issues, which, I mean, it was anger, but also I couldn't control what I was doing, and it scared the shit out of me. So I resorted to trying to find control in the situation. I felt completely out of control. There was nothing I could do to really stop what I was doing. And when it was over, I would be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry that this happened. I don't know how to prevent it from happening. And then I'd feel bad, and my parents would blame me, and it was an ordeal. And I found that hurting myself brought some control into my life. After I would have a meltdown, I would run upstairs and I would hurt myself. I had a knife, I had a handkerchief, and I had some antibiotic cream, because I'm I want to make sure that this doesn't get infected, I want to protect myself. But I had it in a little chocolate box, and that's what I used. There was no razor involved. I was kind of afraid of a razor. It seemed like a lot. And I didn't cut under my wrist. I cut on top of my wrist because I didn't want to die. I really didn't want to die. I was afraid of death. But I had friends at school who I knew were self-harmers, and we didn't really talk about it. But I was willing to try anything at that point. I was like, I need something to control. I need to feel like I'm in control of something. And if I can bleed, and I see myself bleeding, I did that. I did that to myself, which means that I've done something in my own control. And I did that, God, for 7 years? 7 years? And I don't know if you can see, but I've got some scars that are still visible. And yeah, that's about 7 years worth of work. They're not super visible anymore, but I know they're there. And one time when I got my fibromyalgia diagnosis, they saw them and they're like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "I'm fine now. I'm in recovery. I'm doing all right." they're like, good. But for the most part, it's not noticeable. But it helped. It really, it did the job. It calmed me down, because like I would run upstairs and I was hyperventilating and I didn't know what to do, and I would be like crying, and I would hurt myself, and I would see the blood, and I had to see the blood. That's what did it, was seeing the blood. I mean, like, I did this to myself. I caused this to happen intentionally, and that did it. That calmed me down, and I was fine. And it was surprising how quickly I calmed down. Like, it was within a minute of seeing blood. It did its job. It did what it was supposed to do. I found a solution. But obviously it wasn't healthy, and my parents suspected it for a little bit. Actually, they didn't suspect it as much as my friends did. My friends noticed, and they were like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine. It's okay. It's just my cats." Literally, I blamed it on my cats. That's so stereotypical, I feel like. But I blamed it on my cats. "Oh yeah, my cat scratched me. Everything's good." But my parents eventually found out when I just flat out told my mom. I was in high school, and I flat out told her, I was just like, "Look, I do this because it helps. I'm not going to stop doing it. Please don't freak out. I don't want to die. I'm not doing anything I'm not going deep enough to nick anything that's going to, like, kill me. This is just something that helps me." I was very matter of fact about it. And she wasn't happy about it, but she accepted it. And that continued on through high school, and it wasn't until I got to college that I got into therapy. And I think I might have discussed this in a previous video, that like I dropped out of college after my first semester. Like, I went straight from high school to college, and then I dropped out after my first semester because it was too stressful. Like, I was failing my classes because I couldn't do the work because it wasn't going to be perfect, so I wasn't going to do it at all. It was bad. So I got to see a therapist finally, and he helped me with, when I feel out of control, what can I do? Because I found it was mostly a panic response. When I felt out of control, when I felt like something awful was going to happen, that there was nothing I could do to stop it, that like I had fucked up, or like something bad was going to happen and it was out of my control and there was nothing I could do, I would feel the need to self-harm. It's not really a depression thing for me. I'm not like, I don't need it to feel something. I don't need it to convince myself that I'm alive. I don't need it to, like, there's so many reasons why people self-harm. And for me, it was to be in control of the situation. I needed to have some sort of agency. And in a place where there wasn't any agency for me, I had to create it. And so my therapist helped me realize that, there are things that I can do to gain control of a situation that don't involve hurting myself. If my problem is that I don't feel in control, there are things that I can do to feel in control. At that point, once I started college and I freaked out and dropped out and everything, I got a whole medication overhaul, and that really helped. I don't really have meltdowns anymore. I've been manic since, but I haven't actually like freaked out and scream cried and run around and like hurt myself, like hurt myself by like, hitting things and stuff like that. Like, that hasn't happened since high school. So I don't really get the urge to hurt myself. At least I haven't since recently. The panini has done a lot to my mental health, and it's not good. I now have Ativan I can take when I'm having a panic attack, and that takes about a half hour to start working, but it does help. And just taking it and knowing that it's going to start working does help. But I'm a lot better, I must say. Just feeling out of control wise, I'm doing better with that. It's it's funny because when I'm depressed, I don't really think about self-harming because I'm not having intense emotions. I do it when I have intense emotions, and when I'm depressed, I'm mostly just not. I'm not. I'm not happy. I'm not sad. I'm not there. I'm not angry. I'm not a person. I'm just not. And so when I have heightened emotions, when I'm in a panic or I feel out of control, that's when it happens. And now that I've had the therapy, well, I'm still in therapy. I've been in therapy for years. I love therapy. I recommend therapy for literally everyone on the planet. Get some therapy. My therapist taught me coping mechanisms, and I still do pretty much all of those. I've tweaked some of them to, better fit my circumstances, but for the most part, the stuff that he taught me back in college is what I do. Now we're into the tips and tricks, what I do, what helps. And so the story is done. You guys don't have to listen to that if you don't want to. But for the most part, what I do is what I've done for years. And with the panini being what it is, I've gotten more heightened emotions. Also the testosterone, I must say. Just recently, I have been more frustrated. I've been more frustrated more often. And I don't know if it's probably not just the testosterone. It's probably just like the state of the world plus the testosterone. But I haven't been this frustrated about silly little things in a very long time. The first thing I try to do is breathing exercises. I don't know if you guys have heard of the 4-7-8 breathing cycle exercise thing. But I find it helpful. It's supposed to switch your brain off of the parasympathetic nervous system onto the sympathetic nervous system, or the other way around. But anyway, it's supposed to switch your brain out of fight or flight mode and into just a calm state. It's where you breathe in for 4 seconds, you hold it for 7 seconds, and then you exhale for 8 seconds. And you do that for a while, and then you should be able to feel your heart rate decline and feel things relax. I was also told by my therapist that, especially when you're having panic attacks, that cortisol, that hormone that is released when you're having a panic attack, takes about 15 minutes to be metabolized by the liver. So if you can stave off repeating into a panic attack over and over and over again, if you can just stay chill for 15 minutes, the hormones will be metabolized by your liver and you should be able to stay calm. But if you keep working yourself up into it over and over again, then that hormone is just going to keep being released over and over again. So if you can do the breathing exercises, which should help calm your heart rate down and your brain switching out of fight or flight mode, along with other things that you can do, like the next thing on the list, which is distraction. I do that very regularly. Just in general, I do distraction because of the state of the world. But I will watch YouTube to calm down, to take my mind off of things that are bothering me, to not have to think about difficult things like the state of the world right now. As someone with a uterus, I'm really not having a good time right now. But I will watch funny videos. I'll watch informative videos. I've been watching a lot of witchy videos lately because it's getting into the spooky season and I always feel more witchy when the spooky season starts up. But I will watch literally anything that will capture my attention and will keep me from thinking about whatever it is that's bothering me for about 15 minutes. I must say, that 15-minute mark is pretty on the nose because the Ativan will kick in, and usually even before then I'm feeling better if I can just keep my mind off of it. And because I'll think about it, I'll think about self-harming. I'll be like, what would help? My brain would be like, what would help in this situation? You know what you should do? And I'm like, not what I want to do. I don't want to do that. Let's not do that. My brain is like, no, but it'll really help. It's a great idea. You should do it. And like, I don't have a knife right now. I haven't self-harmed in fucking years. I don't even have the prep to do it. I don't even know where I would do it. Like, it's not feasible right now, but like, I have the urge to do it. I would probably just like smack my leg until it started turning really red. But like, my brain is still like, this would be a good idea, and it's not a good idea. So if I can make it think about something else, if I can do the breathing exercises, that will usually calm it down. The next thing I try to do, if at all possible, is talk to someone. Whether that's calling my therapist, because he usually won't pick up, but I can leave a message and then he'll call me back in a little bit. But talking to someone, if my roommate is home and available, I will often talk to her because she's an amazing listener and she lets me just vent at her. And sometimes she doesn't even need to say anything. Sometimes I don't even want her to say anything. I just want her to listen so that I can say it out loud, what is bothering me. And she will listen. She accepts it. She accepts me. I love her so much. But just talking to someone, being able to verbalize why you feel out of control, why whatever is bothering you, or even verbalizing like, hey, I want to do this to myself. I'm not going to do it because it's a bad idea, but I want to do it. But generally, just talking to my roommate, talking to anyone, verbalizing it can get it off of your chest, can get it out of your brain. And so your brain feels unloaded and freer. And then along with the medication and the breathing, all of that stuff, it can really help. If all else fails, and this is a very rare occasion for me, but if all else fails, I will get a rubber band and I will put it on my wrist and I will snap it. You pull it, you snap it, you pull it, you snap it. Exactly where you would want to self-harm. Like, I used to do it on the top of my wrist, so it would be snapped on the top of my wrist. And doing that I find sometimes it's just pain, you know? Sometimes you just need something to take your mind off. You know, like when something hurts and then you hurt something else, or you cause pain to another part of your body, and then the first part doesn't hurt anymore. Like, it's like that, except with your brain. Like, my brain hurts. My brain is being shitty. So I will do something to cause pain in a different part of my body, and then my brain won't hurt as much. It sucks that it works that way, but sometimes it works that way. Guys, I'm gonna be perfectly real with you. I have tried for the last 10 minutes to wrap up this video in a nice clean bow, in a way that connects to self-love, in a way that will make you guys feel better. And I have been sitting here speaking over and over again and failing at coming up with anything coherent. Just know that you're not a bad person if you self-harm. It's not a moral failing to hurt yourself. It doesn't mean that therapy isn't helping you or that you're not on your way to recovery. And I hope you guys can find the help that you need. Because we all need help when it comes right down to it. We all need help. That is it for this video. I hope it wasn't too depressing. I hope it was helpful. I've been dealing with some physical pain recently. I got some more knee injections and they didn't agree with me, so I've been having a bad couple days. So please excuse me if I seem tired, if I seem kind of out of it, like not coherent or repeating things. It's just not my day. But I'm really excited to do this video series because I want to help you guys. I want to provide inspiration. I want to put good out into the world, because who doesn't want to do that? I want to plug my Twitter, @HoagieJ. It's brand new. Please follow. You'll get updates on when I post new videos. I'll give you guys some insights on in-between video shenanigans and all that good stuff. And I might even follow you back. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please consider liking and subscribing. I try to put out new videos every week. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys next time. Mwah.